Well, it's a relentless league, this championship. Just 4 days on from that dramatic leveller against Watford. And Argyle are on the road, heading to Norfolk to take on a Norwich side who are winless in their last 7 matches. 313 miles is the difference between Home Park and Carrow Road. A fair old way to go on a Tuesday night then. But that stadium behind us there will be full of Argyle supporters a little bit later on. They always make the journey. If you're not one of them, do not worry, because we have you covered here on Argyle TV tonight. Hello, good evening. I am Charlie Price. This is Argyle TV. And will today be the day that Argyle finally get that elusive away win? They're unbeaten in 3 matches heading into tonight's game and could even go above Norwich should they take the points tonight. Match passes, both audio and visual, will be available to purchase on our website right now. Just head to pafc.co.uk for all of the details. Now, joining me for the next couple of hours is the former Argyle and England defender, Gemma Rose, who's making her Argyle TV debut tonight. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's
welcome,
good to be here.
Welcome to the family. Not a bad game to start off with.
No, I mean, yeah, definitely a really exciting opportunity, especially off the back of Friday's, obviously, performance and point at Home Park. I think if there's a time that you'd want to play Norwich, it'd probably be now with their vulnerability of obviously lacking a few players. So fingers crossed, like you said, it's going to be our first 3 points away from home, and definitely looking forward to the game.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We seem to talk about it every single week, the lack of away win. But surely it's got to come soon, hasn't it?
Definitely. I mean, personally, I think it's going to come today. I think we've set out with a good formation, obviously building on Friday's performance as well. And I think, like I said, I think if there's a time that you'd want to play against a team like Norwich with that Premier League experience, or that unique experience that they have as a squad and as some individual players as well and as a club, I think it would be now, due to the lack of the players due to injuries, and some players are obviously not as match fit because they're coming back from injuries as well. So yeah, I think, like I said, they are a vulnerable team at the minute. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can build on Friday's performance and get our first 3 points away from home of the season. Yeah,
it's actually not a bad little kind of run that Argyle are on. International break in the middle, win against Portsmouth, draw at Derby. And I suppose a little bit of momentum from that incredible late win. Just to take, if we had a week to sit on it, it might fizzle away, but it's only 4 days since that. Yeah,
I mean, definitely. I think now is probably the best time to play away from home. I think building on that performance, like you've just said, is a massive opportunity today to hopefully get our 3 points and put in another really positive performance, obviously away from home as well.
Yeah, right. You've mentioned the team a little bit. Let's have a look at the Argyle side for this evening's game. Now, there was a lot of chat around Morgan Whittaker, whether he'd be fit or not. He hasn't made it. He's one of 3 changes that Wayne Rooney has made to the side. Lewis Gibson also drops out of the starting 11. Victor Poulsen comes in to replace him. Callum Wright and Mustafa Bunda were in for Whittaker. And Obafemi, who both drop to the bench. Big game as well for Bali Mumba, who spent a couple of seasons at Carrow Road, played 9 matches for the Canaries. And we think it will be a similar formation to what we saw on Friday night. We think we're going to stick with the back 3, looking at the personnel, with Poulsen just coming into the middle of that back 3, and the 2 10s behind Andre Gray. Gemma, obviously Lewis Gibson, he put in such a great performance, having been out for the best part of a month on Friday night. Is it understandable then that he's not involved today?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, you want to play every single game. Obviously, coming back from injuries is really, really difficult. He's still probably building on getting his match fitness back, obviously, from being on the sidelines due to an injury. So I think, obviously, Rooney's probably thinking long term. Is it better to rest him today for the future matches? And I think probably, yes, it is probably better to do that. He did put in a really positive performance on Friday, but like we said, it's probably better to manage his minutes to make sure he's fit for the rest of the season.
It's one of those really difficult ones, I imagine, where he's such an integral player, if not one of the most consistent players in the team. And he put in such a great performance, having come back from injury and played 90 minutes. Didn't look like there was anything, any ill effects or whatever to that injury. But also, there's so many games between now and the new year, basically, and you don't want to risk it, do you, I suppose?
No, definitely not. I think we spoke about previously how relentless the Championship is. It's such a long season, and every point is crucial, and every obviously individual performance and player is really important to the squad. And obviously us getting the 3 points away from home today is the most important thing. And if obviously that means Gibson missing out in today's match to play more games in the long term, and hopefully that's the reason that Rooney's done that, because like we said, he was fantastic on Friday. Yeah,
we saw him put in the assist for Andre Gray's first. There's Andre Gray's second. Let's talk about him for a moment. Let's go to the other end of the pitch, Gemma, because he's got 3 goals now for Argyle. This is, I think, is only his fourth start. You know, he's kind of getting match fitness again, and is that bit of experience and maybe championship quality that Argyle have maybe struggled to have in the certainly last season and bits this season as well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely travelling down to Plymouth from former clubs is always a transition phase, and I think, like you said, he's finding his feet now. He's obviously scored 2 fantastic goals on Friday, and he'll be looking to build on those goals in today's performance, and hopefully again he can put another one in the back of the net for us, and obviously contribute to our 3 points that we're going to get today.
You're very, very positive, Gemma. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I mean, I hope we're sitting here smiling in a couple of hours' time. They were unbelievable goals, weren't they, on Friday? How much will that just do to him as well? Because as a striker, you want to score all the time. He's now got 3, as I mentioned. But not only, you know, they're not just any old goal. They were absolute belters. He must be sky high at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I think in a recent interview of the weekend, he was speaking about how he sees himself as more of an introvert. He sees himself as a leader by the way in which he behaves, how he performs on the pitch. And I think he demonstrated those traits on Friday by the way he performed, the way he obviously portrayed himself as well, and the way he was clinical in front of goal, and he was ruthless. And yeah, like we said, he'd definitely be wanting to build on those goals from Friday and to gain a bit more momentum with performances as well. Yeah,
just a very quick one on the fact that Morgan Whittaker's not involved. He has a great record against Norwich. He got 4 goals in the 2 games last season against them. But he didn't look himself on Friday. We heard afterwards that he was playing with a bit of a knock. How much of a miss do you reckon he might be today?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll definitely be obviously missed within our performance, but I think he has been quiet in the last few games, and I think it has been obvious that he's had a slight injury, and we obviously don't want to risk that further down the line, like we're resting Gibson as well. It's probably the best solution to do with Whittaker as well, to save him obviously picking up another injury, to obviously put him on the sideline for a longer stint of time. But no, I think we have the quality of players to come in to replace him. Obviously we've got Wright coming in the midfield. Again, he was brilliant when he came on Fridays. Obviously provided us a bit more energy, obviously a bit unique, a bit different. So yeah, again, like we said about Gray, he'll be also wanting to be building on his performance from Friday.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's have a look at the Norwich side then. They're out of sorts a little bit. They haven't won in 7. As Gemma mentioned at the start, a couple of players, big players, out injured as well. Most importantly, Josh Sargent, who was their top scorer from last season. But Johannes Thorup has made a couple of changes to their side that drew away against West Brom on the weekend. Ben Krezene, the former Exeter City youngster, he comes into the back 4 because of a suspension to Fisher. And they'll be really pleased to have Kenny McLean, their captain, back in the side. He's missed the last 4 with suspension. He comes straight back into that engine room of the midfield. This is how we think they'll line up, very similar to what they've done for a lot of this season, 4-3-3. Borja Sainz is the one, though. Looking at it, he's the top scorer in the league, 11 goals, seems to always be involved. I suppose if they're going to do anything well today, Gemma, he'll probably be at the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, I think he scored, like you said, 11 goals this season. He's currently the league's top goal scorer. He's obviously September's Player of the Month as well. I think he's definitely the most informed player in the league. Obviously, like it shows he plays on the left-hand side of the front 3, but he's right-footed, so we need to be aware of him cutting in on his right foot to obviously get shots off. He's playing with confidence, so I think obviously Rooney will be looking at his obviously players to double up on him to prevent him from gaining momentum in the game and obviously getting any shots off, because they can be deadly, as we've seen throughout the league. Yeah,
they absolutely can. And he scores all sorts of goals, and I suppose that's the tricky thing to try and defend against. Like you said, he likes to cut in on his right foot. He scored plenty from outside the box. He can take free kicks and score, but he makes late runs into the box as well. So, you know, as a defender, what are you maybe thinking when you're playing up against someone that can do a bit of everything, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's his acceleration. I think as soon as you give him that 5 yards head start, it's his acceleration, it's his ability to actually get past you and excel past you, whereas you're still trying to pick up a bit of pace. Even with the ball, he's still able to do that. I think that's what makes him a unique player, and that's what has contributed to his success so far this season. So I think we need to get tight as soon as that ball travels to him. I think we need to get touch tight in wide areas as well. I think we'd probably look to double up on him as well. So obviously from the front and the back to ensure that he can't get his shots off. He's obviously got his back to goal, and we're trying to force him to play backwards as much as possible.
Yeah, he is the one to watch for sure. Well, as mentioned, it was a quick turnaround for both sides heading into this one. Argyle actually have had the extra day, having played on Friday night, but spent all of yesterday travelling to Norfolk. Let's hear from the head coach, Wayne Rooney. Here's his thoughts ahead of tonight's game.
There was a real shift in mentality second half. I thought we come out and we played a little bit more. We used Grimmy a little bit more. We spread our centre backs out a bit more and made it very difficult for them to put pressure on us, and we were found in the wide areas quite easily. The quality crossing in the box weren't great. If that was better, I think we maybe could score, create a few more chances, and we kept pushing. And I thought the lads who come on made a difference again, which is really important to us. And I thought in the end we deserved the point.
Obviously, you weren't entirely pleased about playing on a Friday night after the international break, but it does give you a little bit of extra time before the Norwich game. Now we're sat here now. Will it help just to have a little bit of extra time before Norwich?
Yeah, of course. Now you've got the extra day, of course. I still stand by what I said. I think whether we would have won, lost or drew the game tonight, I think it's not great for any team playing on a Friday after international break. And obviously I know Tom well, and I know he's had players come straight here from international duty, which is crazy. I understand for TV and certain things like that, but I think there has to be exceptions where you have to take the players' health into consideration. That they're on long flights back, then they're asked to travel when they land and then try and play a game at a very high level. I think it's not great for the players.
What are your thoughts on Norwich as a team?
Good team, good energy, good goal scorers in the team. Again, I think, as I say every week, it's going to be a very difficult game away from home, where we got a good result against Derby last time out. So hopefully we can, improve on that maybe in another very difficult game.
Yeah, talking about that last result against Derby, it was an all-important point after a run of defeats for Argyle, and we've kind of alluded to it already in this show. Unfortunately, it's a conversation that we're still having about not being able to win away from home. I mentioned he had an extra day compared to Norwich. They played on Saturday, but all of yesterday was spent travelling to Norwich, so not a lot was done. I mean, is travel an excuse? We do have to go a long way. Is that something that's maybe hindering away form? I mean, we're trying everything to try and think of a reason, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely can be a contributing factor to limited energy. I don't necessarily think it can be a limited factor in terms of performance. I think, especially in this day and age, we have enough just stuff available in order to ensure that we have the right facilities available and the right recovery methods available as well, to ensure that players are fully prepared for a game. I do think it's a mindset shift. I think as soon as we get that win, the shift in momentum will be evident. And I think hopefully today, if we pick up those 3 points, you will see that shift in momentum. You will see that more positive mentality for the players and for the staff going into more away fixtures. And yeah, I just think as soon as we get that first away game, it will change the mindset of the players. And
which we're going to get today, obviously, according to you.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
we're going to get today. It clearly is, because if you look at our home form, just the one loss, we score goals at home as well. We've only got 2 away from home. And I know you've got to be slightly more cagey against a side like Norwich as well that like to attack. So are you maybe thinking that's a factor in this little formation change as well, to maybe be a little bit more secure at the back as well with the extra couple of defenders?
Yeah, I think it provides a bit more security, knowing that we've got that back 3 behind the ball, and we've got obviously the 4 sat in front of them with our wing backs allowing to push on a bit more to express themselves. And we are looking for a positive performance from the back three today, and hopefully the main aim should be to keep a clean sheet. I think that should be our overall objective. Don't let them score, keep a clean sheet, and then build on that performance and hopefully go out on the front foot as well. Start the first 10 minutes strong, get in their faces as much as possible, and then obviously that will help us in terms of building momentum for the rest of the game.
Right, let's have a listen to the Norwich, from the Norwich camp, I should say. They got off to a good start under their new manager. Johannes Storup came in the summer, and they were flying high near the edge of the playoffs, but they haven't won in their last 7 matches now. So how does he feel going into tonight's game?
When I watched some of the first games in the season, I actually thought that Plymouth was one of the best playing teams, and they had some good structure, they had some good positions, some good movements. They also bought an offensive midfielder from the Danish league, Rami Al-Haj, which was, I think, a perfect fit for that team and the way that they played. Then they changed the structure and formation just a little bit, and of course maybe affected a little bit by the results. A little bit more protective, a little bit more direct in their approach. So what we have to prepare is both, that they can show up tomorrow night and do both, and we have prepared for that. Me as personal, I think they were doing well when they were trying to build from the back and creating some of those good moments. And I think actually, without knowing Wayne at all, but I think it is actually his plan with the team. But of course he also needed to look at how to get some results here and now. So that's what we plan for and prepare. But we dare and we show courage every time we play. That's for me. That's for the coaches. That's for the club. That's who we want to be. Does it come with risk? Definitely. Does it come with situations where we sometimes look stupid? Definitely. But hopefully, and also what we have seen so far this season, is that we can also show these moments of top level. We need consistency. We need to be even better. We need to make sure that we're not so easy to score against, and we need to make sure that we consistently can play on this high level.
Really positive talk about the way in which Argyle play from Johannes Storup in that, which was quite interesting.
Sounded like me then, didn't it? Talking about us getting the 3 points.
I know. It's always interesting, I think, trying to hear from opposition coaches, especially someone who doesn't know the league, he's new to the league, to kind of see how we have been playing. And I think there's been examples of us doing exactly what he did, and you want to see more of them, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we spoke about it before the game, how we're looking to play more attacking football this season. It's clear that the way in which tactically we're set to play. We're trying to play out more from the back. We're trying to play more attractive football to create obviously pockets of space more in midfield, to try and utilise our strengths a little bit more as well, and to try and get the ball into Whittaker a lot more, obviously when he's playing and things like that. And yeah, I mean, it's a massive compliment when you hear another manager speaking about your team like that. So I think the players should take that positivity and obviously use that in terms of to gain momentum, like we spoke about as well. And because obviously the way in which we are playing is a step in the right direction, and obviously we're playing good attacking football and we are creating the chances, which is really positive.
Yeah. If we do kind of look at them for a little bit, mentioned their form coming to this, haven't won in 7 matches. They've drawn quite a lot of them. They got a draw on Saturday as well away at West Brom. We're just going to see the goals now. They, I think, are the joint 4th worst in terms of the defensive record this season, but they're one of the best in terms of scoring goals. So it's probably no surprise that games end up being 2-2 quite a lot of the time. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's what's going to make today's game so exciting as well. I think we're
hopefully
set to be a really exciting match, hopefully with not many goals going in, obviously our end of the pitch, but hopefully for us to utilise our strengths and score some goals against obviously what seems to be a weak area of their defensive unit. I think we spoke about Duffy as well, player with a lot of experience, but I think he lacks a bit of pace, so we're trying to get on his back shoulder, trying to obviously get Gray on his back shoulder, and obviously he's playing with confidence, so they would have gone through their strengths and weaknesses as a back four, so to obviously counteract their weaknesses and obviously utilise our strengths.
Yeah. Do you actually think maybe playing against a side that does like to go at the opposition, so to go at us might work in our favour a little bit, to create little pockets of space for Callum Wright, for example, for Bundu potentially to work in?
Yeah, I think it will match our style of play, to be honest. I think that's when we play our best, when the opposition are a bit on their back foot, they're a bit more frantic with the way in which they're pressing, because it does open up those opportunities for us to play that attacking football that we're trying to play, to find those pockets in midfield. and obviously for Mumba as well to join in the attack and get the crosses in like he's shown on Friday.
Light show going on at Carrow Road. Means we're getting close to kick-off. We're just 10 minutes away. Remember, you can get your match passes from our website right now. If you're based inside the UK, it'll be audio only. But if you are an overseas viewer, you can watch the game in full. We'll be handing over to commentary very, very soon. I don't really need to ask you this question because we already know where you're sort of angling. But how confident are you that Argyle can get something? I might change that actually. Why are you so confident that Argyle might get something out of tonight's game, Gemma?
I'm going from a short-term perspective on performances. I mean, for the first 30 minutes on Friday, I don't think necessarily it was our best performance, but I think as soon as Gray scored that first goal, I do think it shifted. I think we performed really well for the final 60 minutes of the game, and I think if we use that as positive energy and positive mindset towards this game, I do think we get a positive performance, and hopefully, fingers crossed, obviously my first time here.
Yeah, exactly.
3 points. So yeah, I've got to say it. I've got to say it. I do think
debut.
we will get the 3 points.
You do realise if we do win today, you're going to just have to come back every single week, every single game.
That's fine. I can do that.
We can take it if it's going to be for the win. Okay, perfect. All right. Gemma, thanks for that. We'll be back at half-time. Reminder, match passes are available from our website right now. But we are pretty much ready. The Green Army are in position. The players are getting their final instructions, and Argyle against Norwich is up next. There you go.
Sorted.
Done.